welcome to week 4. Welcome to week 4 of our Meant for More challenge. I don't think we could have a more fitting topic that we can all lean into and make a difference with this week than getting into action. There's nothing more being asked of us, and getting into action with the way that you help, with the way that you love, with your mission, with the gifts that life school has bestowed on you, I believe is one of the biggest ways we can make a long-term difference for the pain that we're experiencing as a planet right now. So thank you for being here and taking this dedicated time to honor your gifts and who you are and the difference that you make. Your gifts matter. And the structures that we have here, and my heart is here to support you in being out there with your gifts in a bigger way. So if you're brand new to the challenge, we've been going for over 3 weeks now. We're in our 4th week. In light of how much our leadership is needed right now, we're extending the challenge 1 more week. So we'll have a bonus week next week to help you to continue to clarify your offer, your gifts, your unique value, the way that you love, the way that you help. So, again, thank you for being here and caring about yourself and caring about humans enough to dig into your gifts and want to bring them into the world to help others. So for those of you that have been participating, I'd love to hear from you about what's showing up in your leadership. Just to review where we've been so far, in case you're just joining us. We've been working through the Meant for More challenge, which is really based on the principles, of the book Meant for More, which is really about how to take your knowledge and turn it into profits. We call it monetize your mission, but I think, at this point, it's even bigger than that. We need to mobilize our missions. And I've been obviously, like all of you, deep in it, feeling it all, wondering, where can I make the biggest difference for what life school has afforded me. And, I just keep coming back to that being here and showing up and supporting you in the difference that you make is the way to be the pebble in the pond, where I have some strength. And I keep looking at, leadership and what it really means. And I come back to something that 2 years ago on my 50th birthday, when I did a really deep, deep spiritual dive, a definition that I came to for myself that I've been sharing a lot with my campus. And by the way, if you, can be here on video and, show us you and your love and your gift, it would be powerful today. So if you can do that, please do join us on video. This is this call is about participation. So, there's a lot better things on Netflix than me if you're just here to watch a TV show. But if you're here to roll up your sleeves and do the work, because you are meant for more, and what you offer to the world is meant for more, then come on and let's do this together, okay? It's beautiful to see your faces. So, I wanted to give this to you today as a place possibly to stand as you're, figuring out your voice and your leadership combined with your own gifts. And the definition that I have adopted for myself of leadership is that it's like an equation. Leadership equals generosity plus courage plus compassion. See if that's fitting for you. Let me know if that's fitting for you. When you look at the way you lead or you would like to lead, do you want it to have those qualities? It feels generous, right? That people are helped and moved and touched by you. It takes courage. It takes courage to speak anything right now because, there's a lot that needs to be said, and yet there's so much, and rightfully so. For the people that you are here meant to help. And also the one we can't forget is compassion for ourselves right now. So that's where I'm coming from. That's from showing you my heart and my head. And so in the Meant for More challenge, where we are this week is, the challenge has progressed. We started out with making peace with sales. That if you're going to, in your point of view, if you're going to, I had somebody inspire me deeper into my leadership this morning, and it was through her, how to communicate in a way that would get through. On that in the first week, and that work's still up. If you're just joining us later in the challenge, it would be very difficult to get your mission done in the world without some kind of a piece inside you that your offer matters and the courage to make. And then we started diving into, what would my offer be? What is my unique value? If I do make peace with sales and I'm willing to get out there and help people and be in my offer, what is it? And so in week 2, and again, you can go back to these exercises. You can also, if you're an owner of, it's not too late to get Meant for More, you can get it on Amazon or any of your favorite booksellers, but the stories will inspire you, as will the steps. It's more of a course than a book. And that's, again, what we're working through here in this free challenge. So what is your gift? What is your unique value? And we've offered you an entire mini course there to be able to dive in and say, what has life prepared me for that I want to turn into, my next chapter to make a difference and make money doing it. That's what we're here for. And then last week we talked about, okay, if you're starting to see that gift that you have, that which you were made for, how do you own it? Right? Because I figured out at about 40 years old, 12 years ago, that no one was going to knock on my door and crown me. That if I had a gift and I knew I could help people, I had to come out with it. I had to have that courage. So this is all about, giving you the structure to be able to do that. And so, here we go. Here's my visual. We call it Assume the Throne. Right? And that's what we're doing here, is looking for what is the throne that you are stepping into now or have stepped into, and you're looking to take the next cut. Right? And so we did a lot of amazing work, and the exercises in last week are all about that. And this week, where we dive is about taking action, because it's amazing, for the 50 or 100 of us to meet here and have these powwows. And we do need to do that, right? To sort of to come together in a place of safety, and so that we can come out. But it doesn't happen without action. And, that word gets thrown around a lot. Take action, take inspired action, be decisive. There's so much said about it. But I'm really a proponent of how. If you needed some steps, if you're feeling a bit frozen, if you're not sure what action to take, what would be the steps? How can you do that? And so that's where we're diving into. And if you're in the Meant for More challenge, again, it's on Facebook. All the exercises are there. These calls are posted. So if there's value you want to come back and revisit, you can. And we're extending this yet another week. So we're going to talk about getting into action. My hope in the next 45 minutes is to launch you into action with some real invitations to do that. And then next week, we're going to tie it all together with really the opportunity to clarify your offer, to really take the next cut at how do I say what I've discovered? How do I say the words that communicate to another human being, that describe what I do? Thanks so much for those of you that are, coming on to be seen here in video and to get to know each other and to look around at the faces here to say, yes, these are the people that are, in the midst of everything, doing their part and stepping up to say, yes, I have a gift that I'm ready to contribute, and I'm willing to do the work to find out what it is and to help others know what it is so they can come to me, right? So that I can invite them. So thank you. By the way, part of all of this is showing up. It's being willing to be visible. So I just always think our campus is such a great place to practice, to put your camera on, to see if you like your lighting. Would you go on a Facebook Live and talk to the people who need your help and voice what matters most to you? So practice here, practice the way that you show up energetically, the way that you show up, what do we call it, virtually. So feel free to use this as a place Hi, Sandra. Good to see you. And Elisa, and Rachel. Hello. Yoga Arts. If you want your name to be known, by the way, if it's not showing up the way we would call you, you can always hover over your little square there, and you'll see that there's some buttons, and you'll see that you can rename yourself so that you can put your actual name. Hi, Charlotte and Jitka, Suzanne, Brenda. Good to see you. Doreen. Hello. Diane. And thanks for being here. Is it Ariella? Love that name. All right. So good to see all of you, Robin, Eileen, Beatrice. Hi. If I haven't mentioned your name, I possibly can't see it, or it's showing up as something else. So anyway, so I'd love to hear from a few of you. Let's get this party started. If you've already dove in to the chapters on action, and you've been taking action and it's making a difference for you in the way that we teach it, I'd love to, just get our juices flowing in the energy of yes to action and hear from you. Let's see. I guess if I'm having a little bit of computer glitchiness, my apologies. So I'll cue us up here, just looking into Meant for More on the Get Into Action Step 4 chapters. And I want to remind you that there's 3 different kinds of actions we talk about. So sometimes when you give something a distinction, it you can use it. It's not just a concept. It's something you can actually use in your life. And so my invitation is to say, which one of these could I run with today that maybe I haven't been utilizing, to forward myself in my own Meant for More journey and to forward the difference that I'm making. So one of the kinds of action we talk about is inspired action. And we talked about this over the last few weeks. It's when so here's the practice, the actual how-to. I call it listen, act, trust. That's the formula if you want to write it down. It's listening when you get that inspiration, you get that feeling, you get that bubbling up, and it's listening to it, hearing it, and then taking action as fast as you can. It's closing the gap between when you get the inspiration and you actually act on it. So if you've kind of been in a pattern of getting an inspiration and then thinking about it or writing it down or running it by other people or researching it, those things used to slow me down. I wasn't really able to make the difference that I'm making until I started taking inspired action and closing the gap between the time I got the inspiration and the action that I took. And, if part of your Meant for More journey is making money with your gift, having people pay you for your help and your expertise and your service, money loves speed. And one of the places you can create speed right away is inspiration, action. I had 6 people who I've been supporting for the last 2 days. I see a couple of them here. Hi, Shasheen. That did this with me in some private mentorship over the last 2 days virtually. And, at the end, they had an opportunity to work further with me. And, like 5 of them said, yes, I'm on a roll. I want to keep taking this action. And they took it. And I know from doing that myself in all different areas of my life, from investing in myself to contributing to other people, every time I do it, it lifts me up. It lifts the people around me up. I think it's one of the biggest differences we can make. So when you're inspired, now, I think this is an important caveat I need to add, especially because we are in such sensitive and important times. Inspired action works on high vibe thoughts. So, if you're getting something that's coming up from fear, would separate you from others, that's not a high vibe thought.
No.
Right? High vibe thoughts from love, that forward action, that are supportive. When you get those inspirations, act. And the trust part is to trust the action that you took.
Right.
Yes, and Michelle, I'd love to have you comment in a moment for sure. I'm going to have you guys raise your hand. You'll use the raise your hand function. So if you click on the participants button on a desktop, it's at the bottom of your screen. On a tablet or a phone, you might have to scroll to find it, and you'll see that there's a way to raise your hand. So see if you can find that, Michelle. So that's one kind of action. Okay, I want to give you 3 tools today. There's inspired action. And so that's something you might commit. Let me see where I can see my screen. Who here can see that would help you right now to step into inspired action? It would make a difference with gaining momentum. Okay, so that may be the one you run with. Thank you for that. And the exercises, the listen, act, trust formula, it's all here in Meant for More. And then the second kind of action, we call it cultivate decisiveness. Okay, so decisiveness is another kind of action. So if you are someone who has to gather a lot of facts, you pause a long time before taking the action, this is something you could practice a muscle in. I used to be this way, and it slowed down the difference I could make. So just cultivating decisiveness is every time you notice, there's an exercise in the book I want to remind you guys of called closing open loops. Who here has already seen the closing open loops or heard me talk about closing open loops? Okay. And for whom did it make a difference in your life to do that? Raise your hand so others who can see who haven't. Yeah? So here it is in a nutshell. Again, much more detail in our book and throughout the challenge. But closing open loops means you look around for everywhere in your life where you've got sort of a let's do lunch going on. You know, when you say let's do lunch, but there's nothing in the calendar. Like if you really want to see what you're committed to, I'll tell you where to look. Write these down. You really want to see, no matter what your mouth is saying, you want to see where you're committed to, look in your calendar and look in your credit card statement or your checkbook. So look at your money and look at your calendar. That's what you're committed to. I mean, it's just you've put your money there or you've put your time there, right? You may be committed to people and you'll see them in your calendar and in your money. You know, you may in your checkbook, in your credit card statement. If you are committed to a cause, guess what? You're going to see that you're spending time on it and you're contributing, right? If you're committed to your work in the world and helping people, like this was probably in your calendar. You're committed to it. Right? Many of you have invested in our programs to take it even further. You know, it's in your checkbook. So we can't mess around. I mean, it's right there. We have limited resources of time, money, and energy. Your energy shows up in time in many cases. So, you know, that's where you look. So if you have open loops where you're saying, let's do lunch, but it's not in your calendar, then, you know, there's this lip service there. And one of the most powerful things you can do as a practice, try it once and then feel free to adopt it ongoingly, is the practice of closing those open loops. You know, sometimes when I'm making my offer, and it's the same offer I've always made, and people always said yes, bought it, it went well, and nobody, there's those times where I would make the same offer and it's crickets, guys. Nobody's buying. It happens to the queen of sales conversion, yes. And you know what? I look around and guess what I find almost every time? I say, why is nobody, what does it mean if they're not buying from you? It just means they haven't made a decision, right? A yes or a no. So if they're not making a decision, maybe the place to look is business karma. Look at the man in the mirror. Are there a bunch of places where you're being indecisive? Do you have a bunch of let's do lunch, a bunch of unresponded emails, a bunch of places where people said, hey, would you like to come to this wedding or bar mitzvah or anniversary or quinceañera, and you have not replied? Some of you have heard of, I have Monetize Your Mission coming on June 16, 17, and 18. I'll tell you more about it. It's a virtual event that you're all invited for just a donation. It's some of the most powerful work I do. I will bet there's a bunch of you that have it in your calendar but haven't got your ticket. It's just an example of an open loop. And I do it. I did that recently. My boyfriend and I were going to take an online sensual massage class one night. You know, we're in quarantine and we're like, great. You know, you close the camera and the lady teaches the whole thing and you give each other a massage. I kept saying, like, is the camera off? Are you sure the camera's off? And because you never know, right? If you're going to get the happy ending, you want the camera off. I'm going to bring a little levity to life right now. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate your connection with this. And so, but I had put it in my calendar for the second class, but I didn't pay. I didn't commit because I didn't know. I wanted to leave it open. It was an open loop. And you know what happened? And this was shame on me. We had ridden our bikes around that day. We were having a beautiful time, but we cut it off to get home and get to that class. We didn't want to miss it. and we missed the sunset and we missed everything to get to that class. And guess what? They canceled the class because they didn't have enough people committed. I reached out to the leader on Messenger. Hey, we're here. We just turned our whole day. Joe, I didn't see your RSVP. And she was right. I put it in my calendar, but I never made the commitment. I never invested in it. I never told her. And how many of you are having to cancel things because other people are, you're not seeing if that there's a commitment, right? So when we start committing, what happens is we start to see others committing around us. So when it's going that way for me, I will look in my life. First, I look through my emails and I just respond to things. They don't have to all be a yes. You can say no. Just make a decision. And this is what cultivate decisive action is. Just make a decision. If it's on your calendar, you're doing it, you're investing in it or not, and you will see a change in your life and you will see a change in the people that you serve being decisive about your offers. This is some of the most important training I could offer you. And Donna, who's been on my campus a long time, who's nodding, who's out there making her offers, Beatrice, they have seen this firsthand. So if you have a lot of maybes, a lot of people that are going to get back to you, a lot of people who are thinking about it, go close your own open loops and see what happens and report back to me. No charge for reporting miracles. Heather says, I only received one email for Monetize Your Mission. Is there something else I need to do? Yes, I'll tell you more about it. And we just started promoting it. You guys are some of the first to know. It's a 3-day virtual event designed to go after this challenge. But let me just share with you the third way. So we've got inspired action, decisive action, and the last piece is about getting past perfection. So a lot of the time we're planning to be in action. But what's in the way is we've got a few more things to do to perfect our plans. And we have people that are dying with their unperfected plans in their hard drive that have not contributed to anyone the way that they could. Books and courses and advice and knowledge from our elders and those who've gone before us and generational knowledge. And, we have something here that is the cure for getting past perfection. It will get you into action. Write it down. It's just 2 words. Go forward with good enough. The 2 words are good enough. I'd rather see you out there doing good enough than keeping your plans a secret as you perfect them. So I'm going to list off those 3 things, and I'd love to see, and oh my God, I just consider it such a gift to be able to see so many of you right now. Thank you for that, and my heart and soul needs that. I want to know which one calls to you the strongest that you can take it on and make it your week. So we've got inspired action. Who needs to close the gap between the inspiration and the action you take? You've been a little frozen. This would make a difference. Yeah? All right. Valerie, Doreen, thank you for that. Charlotte, hi. Good to see you, Charlotte. Okay, then the next one was decisive action. Lots of open loops. You're not getting back to people and you got a lot of people waiting to get back to you. Yeah, you want to see that start moving. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Eileen. You won't believe the impact from closing your open loops. Doreen, it's okay to take 2. There's no extra charge. And then we have getting past perfection. Who's got something on your desk right now that it's time to get it out there? It doesn't need any more, yes, it would be nice to change the font. Eileen, Susan, Robin, thank you. Okay, I love it. So that's how I want to warm us up. Let me hear from a few of you that are already experiencing wins in this area. And I've got some hands up here. We're going to start with Rachel. If you could unmute yourself, and these need to be somewhat quick shares. So just go ahead and share my win is. If you have a certain type of action you've taken, or you did the exercise about your headlines, we can talk about that too. Would love your inspiration. And this is one of the ways you lead. It is a generosity to claim your own wins. It is not bragging. It is not selfish. It is a generosity. Please.
I think in the last week, I've been through kind of all of this. I'm building a new website and I'm partnering with women in different parts of California. And so as we're putting everything together and I'm writing the copy for this website, I'm definitely, building as you fly, fly as you build the plane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here last night and I'm trying to write out these packages for our Sonoma, which we haven't done this wedding event in Sonoma yet, but I have all the facts and I'm just like, all right, we're going to put it up here and we can change it later and it's going to be fine. But when this website goes up, I need to have something under the Sonoma section and this is what I have and this is what we're going to do. And
love it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, it's like somebody's going to be looking, and if it weren't up there, they would have gone to the next site. And at least, you know, it's there. And, you know, this is the beautiful thing about the models that we're teaching and that we'll take further in our 3-day upcoming event, Monetize Your Mission. It's actually Monetize Your Mission online, is that the beauty of these days with being able to do this and put your work online is it's not like the old days when Rachel would have had to print 2,000 brochures and put them in her garage and she's stuck with them, and if she wants to change something, I mean, she can put it up and then keep going in and making it better, and, you know, but it's there and it's important that it's there. So thank you, Rach. Thanks for going first. Awesome. So proud of you. Diane, if you could unmute yourself, please. Let's see, I'm looking for Diane. There you are, Diane. So what has happened for you, Diane, from taking action? Diane, we cannot hear you. And I'm not really sure what to do about that. If you have a headset in, it may not be connected to your phone. No headset. I'm sorry. Would you be willing to put it in the chat for us, Diane, your win, so we can enjoy it there? I don't really know another way to get your volume on your side. I'll try back with you though. I'd be happy to try back if you want to restart or something like that. But there is a chat where you can type it in and we'll be able to celebrate you there. Also, one of the invitations in our Meant for More challenge on Facebook is to go live in the group. So, I mean, this is about monetizing your mission. So if you go on for 1 minute and share what you saw last week about what are you discovering is your unique value and what is your expert title? How are you assuming the throne? And, you know, people say that going live, if they haven't done it before, it's like your first kiss. It's a breakthrough. You realize, I want to do more of this. And I'm so happy to provide the space for you to do that as part of the challenge. So you'll see some people who've already done it. And if you haven't yet, please take the opportunity. And there'll be another opportunity Thursday to go live too. So please just jump in there and take inspired action. Those of you who raised your hand, imperfect action, please do. All right, Sandra, if you would unmute for me, please. And I would love to hear what's opening up for you from taking action in this challenge.
Yeah, it's, I'm recognizing that I was in Uganda for 5 weeks, and I was working with refugee families that are stuck in the old beg and whine, and it's ugly. I mean, there's no money. It's really tough. Mm-hmm. And I had a chance to, I was going over just to take my ideas when I had connected with the young lady who would not let me off the Facebook content texting. We did connect, and I was my brutal, normal self. And it was so freeing because they had a good big laugh about me being Coach Sandra, compassionate queen of straight talk. That always gets a good laugh. And then they know what they're in for. So I truly got to be just me and really experiment with who I am. And when I was offside, they had to have the courage to tell me. And I'd say, good, you have to call me. I've learned to start my sessions whenever I'm working with people with that. Look, I kind of come like a tsunami sometimes if I'm not careful because my passion gets ahead of me. So if that happens, your job is to be strong enough to say, hey, time out, let's back up a bit. And I'm finding that since that's who I am when I'm being authentic, people are finding that strength to talk back. And if I'm just too much for them, we just agree to part ways, and that's okay. But I end up doing more bone free work. Yeah. But well, I'm still connected with a wonderful group in Uganda, and I'm now coaching them to help people get started with their businesses. So who knows?
Well, but it's fun. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for being in action. I know you shared just now that you're still doing a lot of your work free, and that is a gift that we all have the opportunity to give with our gifts. And if there's a side of you that it also is wanting to monetize what you do, in some areas, is that present for you as well?
Yes, I have a one major client who he's been working with me for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
We met in Toastmasters, and he.
Are you interested, Sandra, in having more of him? A couple more?
Yes,
like that?
yes. I'm recognizing that I need somebody ready, willing, able.
Yeah.
And
so for those of you that, you have your giving side and you acknowledge that as a philanthropy, and then you have your monetized side of where you offer your gifts. Really, the expertise that we have here is to help you to package, price, and offer your gifts in a way that doesn't feel salesy, that is generous and is courageous.
Right. I'm looking for the way that's kind of the sliding scale. But what I'm recognizing as I work with you and being on here is that with doing groups, you can have a different pricing, or you can give certain things for free. So it's really, it's neat. I'm learning from you.
I so appreciate that. I mean, we are all each other's students in our different areas of expertise. And so what I want to share and kind of use this as a chance to explain the path from here for you, Sandra, and really for all of you in the Meant for More journey. Is that, this Meant for More challenge is designed to have you make peace with sales, discover or take the next cut with your unique value, learn some very specific ways of getting in action in order to get momentum, right? Because there's action that looks like this, right? It's jumping up and down. It's not getting anywhere. And that's what most people who are trying to do their own business are doing. They're very busy, but there's not a lot of forward momentum. And on this campus, we're about action that looks like this, forward momentum. And sometimes we think we're in action, but we're just busy. And these specific things, inspired action, cultivating decisiveness and closing open loops and getting past perfection, can you all see that these are specific types of action that are not jumping up and down, busy action. These are momentum building action, which is why this is so important. It's not necessarily a do this to sell more strategy, but yes, it's a do this to sell more strategy. And so if you're, aside from your gifts that you give philanthropically of your work, the part where you are making a living and supporting your family and creating your legacy and mobilizing your mission is also important, which I believe is what, brought us together. I mean, the tagline of Meant for More is the proven formula of how to profit from your knowledge. So you do the work here, and we've got a bonus week next week where we're going to start to find the words to say what you do. We're going to start to help you really speak what you've discovered, okay? For Sandra, for all of you, for Doreen, for speak it. And then right on the heels of that, my invitation is that you block out June 16, 17, and 18. You'll see the hours. Go to monetizeyourmission.com. I'll have Brittany put that again in our chat. And, just block the hours. I think I don't know for sure. I don't want to screw you guys up. It's like 8:30 or 9:30 to 2:30 Pacific on the Tuesday and Thursday, and Wednesday is a longer day. I think it goes 8:30 or 9:30 to 5:30 Pacific. And, it's virtual. You used to have to travel. This is an event that's cost $3,000 for the last 10 years. And I am doing it for many reasons. Number one, I believe it's the next step that I'm seeing you guys need here in the Meant for More challenge. So for you specifically, I built this, and I hope that you will acknowledge this effort and your commitment by putting it in your calendar and your wallet. When you put it in your wallet, when you put it on your credit card, on your checkbook, the 100% of your $54 donation, not $3,000, $54, 100% of it will be going to Meals on Wheels, to feed the elderly that are stuck and alone and, isolated right now. So I can, promise you that it's one of the ways that I want to give through you, or you get to give through me. We call this Lift as You Climb, right? You give, you make the donation, you get to come be here and learn how to monetize your mission. We're going to be working in the nail your offer work on how do you say what you do? How do you package it? How do you price it? What are the secrets to making your offer high ticket instead of being the low cost leader? You don't have to start out on a sliding scale or the low cost leader. You know, those are things some people are doing, and you can, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you have bigger aspirations for your gift, we're going to show you how to systematically make that happen at Monetize Your Mission. We're also going to show you how to be online, you know, how to take your work online, be it through webinars or Facebook Lives, speaking, right, through online strategies. You'll be attending a virtual event where I'm putting my own work online as you are here, so you get to be in the example of it. So please, you know, grab your seats now. We already have 100 people registered. We're only taking 300. And, you know, if you've got it in your calendar, but you haven't got the ticket, made the donation, close that open loop today. And if there's people you love that are looking for their side hustle or their next thing, close that open loop, because exactly what Sandra is talking about. You know, I was looking at it this morning. I said I should probably rename it Mobilize Your Mission right now, right? In the name of leadership. So it's Mobilize Your Mission. That's really the outcome, the promise. But hey, on our campus, we are helping you make money with what you do as well, because part of what keeps you fortified and keeps your clients, the people that are really ready to double down, doing the work. So super happy to have you guys here. And please, if you would do me the kindness of sharing monetizeyourmission.com with people you care about that need to take it to the next level, that are giving it all away for free, that are letting people pick their brain and getting nothing for it, they will thank you forever. You're like handing them a $3,000 ticket to the event for literally a donation. Now there is, you'll see at monetizeyourmission.com, also an opportunity to buy the Nail Your Offer package, which for you guys specifically, again, I put it in there because after you've done the work here, the thing to do is go into our Nail Your Offer work. It's a $500 course. I've been offering it to you guys for $300 off. So for $197, most of you have already taken me up on that. So, you know, I'm excited to see the work you're doing in our digital platform and the questions that you're asking. It's a difference, you know, there's amazing value here in our free challenge. And the next layer is really putting your money where your mouth is, investing in yourself, to believe that for $197, you'll be able to make an offer that's worth at least or more than that, and not just once, but for the next decade. Right. So that is work that has supported over 15,000 entrepreneurs over the last decade. And now when you get the Nail Your Offer package, you know, again, available at monetizeyourmission.com, again, $54 of that $197 is also going to Meals on Wheels, and you get the ticket to the 3-day Monetize Your Mission event. So I can't think of any other way to just reach down, reach up, grab you, bring you in, and have you, you know, come home to all of who you are and magnetize, monetize, activate, mobilize your mission. It's what we do. It's what I've been doing for the last decade, and what we've helped so many thousands of entrepreneurs do. So that's the invitation. And where you ask questions about Nail Your Offer, Heather, is right inside the digital course. So when you're going through the course, you'll see there's a place you can ask your questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you will get responses from my coaching team to those questions. So please do use that function. It's something that we have in all of our paid courses. You can also ask in Lisa's Success Circle, which is where a lot of our paid clients are, because they've done the work and there's a lot of camaraderie there. All right. Michelle was wanting to share about having dove in and the wins that she has. Michelle, do you want to unmute yourself? Where is Michelle?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Yes. Thank you.
Hi, guys.
Share.
Yeah, I have taken several of, well, I think all of them, but the best one was at her house, and I was really able to hone in what I want to do. And I'm one of those people that are all over the place, and she helped me really like kind of go, okay, I know you can do this, I know you can do that, but this is what can help you make money. And so just a couple of wins. I've created I solidified my offer, and I've been able to work with 2 clients right now. I do financial stuff, so it's a challenge, but one of the other wins that I've done getting into my creative side, I did a whole, for COVID, a whole music video of my take on it, and I'll be launching a website next week just with that, and that's more from the heart and to give back. I have a labor of love thing that I do as well. So anyway, just it's so worth it, and you guys are getting such a bargain.
It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. I wish I could be holding this all in my living room right now.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say, you're all at my house right now.
And it's a beautiful house, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I feel like God knew we were doing important work to get, you guys launched with your important work. So provided a beautiful space for that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Michelle. Good to see you here. I'm glad you found your way back to us here.
All righty. Thanks.
So I want to make sure, there's so many people with hands up to share your wins, and I want to hear them. But since I only have, less than 20 minutes left, I do want to make sure we take some time for any coaching question you may have about taking action on your mission. You're meant for more journey. We've got these 3 kinds of action. Again, next week we'll be diving into how to articulate what you do. So if you're in the book and you're in the challenge, make sure to be downloading our exercises for that and getting into all the stuff on inviting pursuit with your irresistible offer. That's where we'll be going. But what questions do you have, about being in action? Is there places you're stuck that I might be helpful? And also, if you have any questions about Monetize Your Mission and attending that virtually, those are all welcome now. So if your hand is up and it's not for that, I'm just going to ask you to lower it. But if it is for that, I'll keep going through the hands that are raised. And we're going to want to be alacrity, it's called, where, you say, my question is, or my challenge is, and then just fill in the sentence, okay? And if I need more details, I'll let you know. So Doreen, if you could unmute yourself and share, my question is?
Okay, my question is, I'm reading the book. I have my book, and I have all the...
Honored.
And I was looking at the perfectionist. Getting past the perfection, because I haven't gotten to chapter 8 yet. But and I'm also doing I also bought the program for Not Nail Your Offer. So I'm trying. My question is trying to do all and exercises, and then I'm trying to perfection them. So it's like I said, okay, I'll wait till I perfection that before I move on.
Yes.
But in the meantime, I have to move on and to get, because I actually took action where I'm doing a program on the 18th, and it's going to be a like a Zoom meeting, and I'm going to do it on. And so I really need to move. And I really go through this information. So but it's such good information. Thank you so much. I need action.
I think your brilliance. They say the answer is in the question, grasshopper. So you sort of answered your own question. The thing that you can adopt to help with that is the go forward with good enough. And here's what I can tell you about our work that for all of you that might help you a little. If you stumble on one piece, like you just, you can't seem to get that answer. You don't know what to call yourself, or your unique value is only vaguely clear. Keep going, because what you're going to find is that there's like one piece will be the front door, but then I'll come at you with the next piece and it hits you through the side door and you still get in the room. Right. And this is especially true when you'll see when we start working through the Nail Your Offer program. So that's one recommendation for Doreen and all of you is keep going. There's a favorite quote I've shared before, and it's in the book by Maxwell Maltz that talks about that, God cannot course correct us when we're standing still. right? And so if we're waiting and trying to get it perfect, it's kind of like standing still. But when we're in motion, even if our motions is a little slightly to the left of perfection, we can get that course correction from our trusted source, our, higher power, whatever, however you relate to that which guides you. So just kind of keep that in mind. The good enough really helps with that. And the other thing that I'll share is I don't know if you've promoted your thing that you're doing. I love that you're going online with an event. Maybe you can do it on the 19th instead, because if you're with me for the 16th, 17th, and 18th for Monetize Your Mission, a lot of people like to do their event right after being at mine. They get inspired by what they see. They get ideas. There's things they want to share. They see me making my offers and get courage to make their own. So we've had many clients over the years that would purposefully come to my event and do theirs the next week to be in the energy of having made peace with sales, flowing with their offers, serving deeply, being generous, being courageous. So if I rub off on you that way, it's something to consider.
I thought about that when I looked at the date. I'm glad
Yeah,
that you brought it up. Yes. I think that would
whatever feels right for you. I'd certainly, make it earlier or later, but some people purposefully will do their virtual events after being in mine because it empowers them, which is what I want to do for you.
Thank you.
Okay. So I hope that helps. Thank you for sharing that and being, doing the work, doing your work. Your work makes a difference. Thank you. Okay, Brenda, if you could unmute and please, my question is, if you would.
Well, I don't really have a question. I was going to tell you about my wins.
Oh, please.
Okay.
So my win is, how about that?
My win is I'm in the midst of putting together my first cleanse. I'll have them seasonally, so there'll be 4. So I'm in the midst of doing that right now and working on talk tracks to have live talks on air. And I also have inspired at least 4 people so far to read your book. I have 4 people reading the book right now. And I feel like your book is really intended, it's intended for everybody, but I really like to get it to young people, 20s, 30s, because I don't want them to spend their life doubting, maybe if I had did this, or looking back, wasting your time with all that kind of madness. So I really push your book with young people, and I have all 20 and 30-year-olds reading them right now.
Oh, thank you. And if you want to invite them, onto this challenge and to be,
I have.
We welcome them here. Thank you for that, and for your action, and for your beautiful light and energy that you bring with any time that I've been in your presence. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Keep sharing your wins. It really is an important part of the Meant for More journey. And I want to say one thing I love about what Brenda's sharing, I mean, of course, as the recipient of having people buy my book, like selfishly, I love it. I love the contribution it makes. That's not a secret. But sometimes, get your wheels turning with making peace with sales. It's like, great. Share things you're passionate about with other people that aren't yours, if that's how you need to start. But there's a lot of you that then need to make the leap from sharing that which is not your thing, which you probably do easily, to your own, right? So it's just getting in that flow. I don't remember if I shared this with you, but do you see the statue back here, the lady with her arms up? Can you guys see that? If you put me on speaker view, you might be able to see it better, but she's so heavy. It's just like an Oscar. I would bring her over here, but her name is Divine Providence. And I got her in a little shop in Santa Fe, and I'm not a buyer of things. There's not really much of my house is super valuable, but I don't have a lot of things in it that I'm a buyer of experience and education and philanthropy. So this is one of the nicer things that I own. And, the lady who sold her to me went on and on and on about the artist and all of the heart and the passion of the artist. And I just fell in love and I bought it. I don't know what came over me. And when I went to pay, she broke out into tears and admitted she was the artist, that she really just couldn't, talk that way about herself as she could if she did it in the third person. right? So there's a beautiful gift that Brenda gives to me by referring my work, and it translates into, being able to enroll people in your own work as well. So thank you for that, just starting the energy there. All right, let's see if we can get just a couple more people here before we need to wrap up. I have another call at 1:00 for the people that are already our students in some of our higher level courses. So I need to be on time. So let's see, Susan, if you could unmute yourself, and my question is.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Lisa, and fellow attendees. I'm Susan Chambers. I'm the sales ambassador. That's my
sales.
title.
Tell me the middle word. Sales what?
Sales ambassador.
Okay, love it.
I turn fellow leaders into friends who want to do more business with you. I've been doing that for a long time, and what I'd like to do is to monetize coaching. I love making calls. I don't understand why other people don't.
I hear you. It's a unique value. It's easy for you and hard for others. So this is a place to dive in, as
Precisely.
You have.
And my stall is the perfection one, and I think it's because I make things too complicated. So in my mind, and then I get stressed out, and I can't pare it down. So that's so I belabor things. So that's the issue. That's the problem.
Okay. So there's a piece I want to tell you about that is a good anecdote, because it is just sort of the plight of the mission-driven entrepreneurs who care so much. I love that you've dove into that place that's easy for you and hard for others. We talk about that a lot in Meant for More. So thank you. And there's in the Nail Your Offer digital course, the one that you can get at, do you have that yet? You can get it at monetizeyourmission.com if you don't.
I've signed up for Monetize Your Mission, but I don't believe the Nail Your Offer part I've done yet.
Oh, okay. There's a $197 ticket that comes with the Nail Your Offer course. So if you did the $54 donation and you want to, do the difference, just contact support. And so if you have that, anyone who has that, or if you intend to, Susan, I recommend it for you. We overcomplicate because we need to organize our knowledge at the next level. And we do some very powerful work in there helping you to organize your system of how it is that you have no call reluctance, and what someone can do to get through their call reluctance, and have the kind of some smattering of the great results I'm sure you get. So once you create what we call your unique branded system, and we'll also be working on this at the live event, but doing the Nail Your Offer work before you get to Monetize Your Mission is going to give you rocket fuel. I mean, it makes such a difference than trying to scramble and do it all there versus do it and come there and take it to the next level. And so the more that you lean into that and take our guidance there and establish your 5-step system for how you help people get results, then when you go to share and it starts to become overcomplicated, I'll show you during Monetize Your Mission how you can really just go forward with a succinct piece of what you offer instead of trying to explain the whole thing. And that's part of the anecdote to those of us that are so generous that we want to shove 10 pounds of rice in a 5-pound bag. We give them too much. We overstuff them. We can see in their eyes when we lose them, right? And this happens in all categories, whether you're helping people with finance or health or spirituality. It's kind of like too much. So it really, really helps you to organize what you know in a way that you can then deliver the right amount at the right time. It's the first step. And the neat thing is that you can be paid so much more when you take this approach. It makes your intangible help. We're all selling, help, service. It's intangible. We're not shipping a box in most cases. So it makes it feel tangible. The same way that my Nail Your Offer system will feel tangible to you when you get in it. You'll be like, there's these steps, I'm doing it. Each part has a name. So I highly recommend it for you, Susan. It'll change the game for you with that.
And it's not complicated.
Nothing we teach is more complicated than what you've already experienced from me. This is how I teach. This is how it will continue here, step by step, laying it out, telling you what steps to do. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll walk you through how to pick your own brain.
Thanks. It's great to be on this call live. I've been doing the Facebook recorded because I haven't been able to fit it in the schedule. This is wonderful.
Wow.
Thanks.
I'm so happy. Well, we're going to do one more bonus next week with an additional week in the challenge to support you guys all the way up to the door of Monetize Your Mission. So please do put it on your calendar this time next week. Okay. I love it. Kathleen says, yeah, Monetize Your Mission's not on my calendar, but it's on my credit card. That's great. Now we need to get in your calendar so we can make sure you don't miss it. Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Okay, we have just time for a quickie. Diane, it would have to be a my question is or a my win is. If it's more complex than that, I won't be able to do it right now.
I'm hoping it's very simple.
Okay, go ahead, Diane.
Okay, yes. Sorry, I've got vibration here. Yeah, let me turn one of these on.
You're getting a really bad echo, so one of your two devices has to turn off.
Okay. Hope I don't lose you, but okay, here we go. Let's try that.
Like the Twilight Zone.
There we go. Okay.
It is the Twilight Zone. Okay, so I need you to finish the sentence, my win is or my question is.
Okay,
Oh, I'm so sorry. I hate to end the call with having to not hear what you have to say. I can't actually think of something more painful, but there's just some feedback coming through. So again, Diane, I saw you, if you would, to gift to all of us who feel a little incomplete by not being able to hear you, go into the Facebook challenge, do a 1-minute video, go live. You have my permission, and share with us what you wanted to say so that we can honor you. I would so appreciate that, and I'm sure so would your fellow Meant for More journeyers here. So I want to leave you with this. Again, we'll be doing another call next week. This week is about staying in action. The number one thing you can do is pick at least one, pick one of those 3 ways of getting in action that would make the biggest difference for you. And, practice. It's a muscle. Staying in action is a muscle. We are so thrown to be indecisive. It's so much easier not to choose, not to invest, not to put in the calendar, wait and see. And it will not give you the headline that you want for your life. You will not look back on your life and love the headline that was written about you if you live life that way. And when it comes to getting out there with your work, your important contribution, this is, one of the biggest things that you can do. So you'll see from last week, there is a challenge in the challenge to go live. And if you would like to go right into our Facebook group, go like you were going to write a post, but you'll see a little video that says live. You're all set up for it now. I can see your faces. And you can find the exercise in there, the challenge. I think it's from last Thursday that just says, hey, give us a minute on what you're discovering about your unique value. And what's your expert title? What's the throne that you're assuming? Okay, so in a lot of places, it's not appropriate to do that, but we want to do it in the name of, not selling or pitching each other. We want to do it in the name of that you are doing the work here and there's a chance for it to be seen. Okay, and then I will see you all next week at our call and also on the Facebook page. There's a whole bunch of you already grabbing your seats. And again, we are going to cap this event at 300. We're promoting to our whole list tomorrow. So Jim and Sherry and Gertrude and Lisa, all of you have grabbed your seats during the call. I thank you for accepting my gift of Monetize Your Mission online. You'll be glad you did. You'll thank yourself for a long time.